In the dimly lit medical chambers of the 19th century, a peculiar instrument emerged onto the stage of medicine, one that would eventually send shockwaves through history, literally. It was an era when the concept of female hysteria gripped the medical community, and physicians, often perplexed by this mysterious affliction, sought unconventional methods to provide relief. It was a time when society whispered in hushed tones about a condition that was as misunderstood as it was prevalent. Imagine a world where physicians diagnosed women with hysteria for an array of symptoms, from anxiety to irritability, all in the name of preserving societal norms. Enter the vibrator, an invention born not in the realm of pleasure, but as a medical device designed to treat a condition that now seems more a product of its time than a genuine medical malady. The history of vibrators is a tale of intrigue, innovation, and, perhaps, unintended consequences. Join us as we delve into this fascinating and, at times, shocking journey through the annals of medical history. In this video, we'll explore how vibrators became a surprising remedy for hysteria and the pivotal role they played in challenging societal norms and advancing medical technology. In the shadowed corridors of the 19th century, an era shrouded in modesty and societal norms, a peculiar medical diagnosis emerged, one that would leave a lasting mark on the pages of history. During this time, the Victorian era, women were expected to conform to a strict code of conduct. Any deviation from these norms, whether it was a display of emotion, anxiety, or irritability, was often attributed to a condition known as hysteria. The very concept of hysteria reflected the prevailing beliefs of the age. Women were viewed as fragile beings, their emotional and physical well-being tightly linked to their role in maintaining a harmonious society. It was not unusual for women to be diagnosed with hysteria for a wide range of symptoms, and this diagnosis had consequences. It could lead to social isolation, commitment to asylums, or the prescription of various treatments that were far from effective. Hysteria was a diagnosis that cast a wide net, encompassing a spectrum of symptoms, from anxiety and melancholy to restlessness and irritability. Physicians of the time believed that these symptoms were linked to the reproductive organs and the wandering womb theory, an ancient and misguided belief. In their quest to alleviate these symptoms and restore the perceived balance of their patients, physicians turned to a variety of treatments. Some of these treatments were not only bizarre but, by today's standards, downright shocking. One common treatment involved the so-called pelvic massage, a labor-intensive method in which physicians manually stimulated their patients. This practice was both physically and socially uncomfortable, leaving many women in search of alternatives. As the demand for a more effective and less invasive solution grew, the vibrator emerged as a revolutionary answer. It not only saved time and effort for physicians but also offered a modicum of dignity for patients who had long suffered under the medical gaze. The vibrator, with its mechanical precision and consistent results, soon became the go-to treatment for hysteria, sparking a transformation in how this condition was approached. The need for a more efficient and practical approach led to the invention of the vibrator. But these early devices looked nothing like the sleek and discreet gadgets we know today. The earliest vibrators were large and cumbersome, powered by steam and, in some cases, hand-cranked. Far from the image we associate with modern vibrators, these early iterations were strictly medical instruments, and their primary purpose was to bring relief to women diagnosed with hysteria. Remarkably, the vibrator was not initially designed for sexual pleasure. Instead, it was seen as a legitimate medical solution, administered by physicians as a professional and necessary course of treatment. As we delve into the history of these early vibrators, we'll explore the minds behind their invention and the significant advancements that would eventually transform these unwieldy devices into something far more discreet and accessible. As the vibrator's role in treating hysteria became more pronounced, it challenged the very essence of Victorian propriety. In a society where modesty and decorum reigned supreme, the use of this unconventional medical device sparked a wave of controversy. The late 19th century was a time of rigid social norms, and any discussion of female sexuality or bodily functions was deemed indecent. In this environment, the widespread use of vibrators as medical instruments was nothing short of a shock to the system. One could only imagine the whispers behind closed doors as the device designed for medical treatment became a part of everyday life, challenging the status quo and raising eyebrows. The vibrator's newfound role in the bedroom and its emergence as a symbol of sexual liberation would be inconceivable in the Victorian era. Yet, as it often happens, societal norms evolve, and cultural taboos shift over time. In our exploration of this intriguing history, we'll uncover how the vibrator, once a contentious medical device, transformed into an emblem of personal pleasure and empowerment. The early vibrators were anything but discreet. They were large, steam-powered contraptions, far from the image we now associate with these devices. But as time progressed, so did the evolution of the vibrator. In the early 20th century, inventors and engineers began to refine and redesign these machines, striving to create more practical and user-friendly devices. The transition from steam-powered machines to handheld, electric devices was a significant leap. These new, more compact vibrators were easier to use, quieter, and no longer required a cumbersome setup. The vibrator's transition from a medical tool to a consumer product was in full swing. These innovations not only made vibrators more accessible but also contributed to the changing perception of these devices. And so, we come to the end of our journey through the fascinating history of vibrators, from their birth as medical devices to their transformation into symbols of personal empowerment and pleasure. The story of the vibrator is not merely a tale of innovation and invention. It's a reflection of how society's norms, taboos, and perceptions can evolve over time. We hope this exploration has shed light on a little-known chapter of medical history, one that challenges our preconceived notions and invites us to view historical events through a different lens. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, be sure to hit that like button, share it with curious minds, and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing journeys through history. We thank you for joining us on this exploration. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.